So my name is Alexander Crowder. I am originally from Ljubljana, Slovenia. I've been living in Lithuania for 2 years. I am a lawyer by education and I've worked in various areas of law. So I can offer a unique perspective because of my experience in the public sector, my, let's say, experience with governmental relations and how certain decisions issued by the government can negatively or positively impact the client's success rate when it comes to a certain application. So I believe that both my experience in regulatory affairs in the private sector and governmental affairs can offer a very unique perspective on your case. When I started law school back in 2016, I began my professional journey by interning in the European Parliament, which gave me a very starting and unique perspective on European Union law. Then, after completing that traineeship, I also worked as a representative of the European Personnel Selection Office in Slovenia, where I promoted and engaged in discussions also with the Ukrainian Ministry of Foreign Affairs in regards to traineeship opportunities for young Ukrainians in EU institutions. And then in 2019, I interned in one of the major law firms in Slovenia, where I worked mostly on criminal law and constitutional law matters, including issues with extradition law cases pertaining to Interpol red notices and European arrest warrants. And after my graduation, I worked for some time during the presidency of the Council of the EU. I worked as a diplomatic liaison officer at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Slovenia, and I was also a compliance officer after that in a private company, where I worked mostly with KYC, AML, and other regulatory issues. Most interesting case was actually an extradition case back when I was interning in a law firm in Slovenia. So this was in the very, very beginning of my professional career as a young lawyer. There was a situation of a citizen of Kazakhstan who had the Interpol red notice on him because he was wanted for a certain crime in Kazakhstan, and he was actually found in Slovenia whilst checking into a hotel. So this specific criminal offense carried a possibility of a life sentence in Kazakhstan, and due to good communication between me as a trainee, junior, just out of law school lawyer and the senior partners, we were able not just to avoid extradition, but we were also able to get this individual political asylum in Slovenia, which of course gave him the option of free movement to a certain extent in the European Union, even though the red notice issued by Kazakhstan was not suppressed. So obviously I'm not a Lithuanian trained lawyer, but I do have a good command of European Union law, which is critical when it comes to migration issues. Additionally, because I am myself a foreigner living in Lithuania, I also have a hands-on and direct experience with the Lithuanian immigration authorities. That being said, when it comes to, let's say, residence permits and when it comes to certain visas, there are common European Union frameworks, especially when it comes to short-tier visas like a Type C Schengen visa. And you have other cases where it's more national law that dictates the certain principles when obtaining the certain residency documents. However, countries in the European Union generally form a unified system of, let's say, obtaining residence permits. Usually the requirements are in 95% similar. And also I have good connections with local Lithuanian lawyers. And of course, I believe that communication is the key. So besides my professional experience as a legally trained individual, I can offer also some personal experience as a foreigner in Lithuania. So in my very early years of my professional career, I was also active in politics in Slovenia, where I served as vice president of a youth wing of a political party. And my political participation made me, let's say, listed as a politically exposed person for quite a number of years. Now, based on GDPR guidelines and based on certain laws that dictate what a politically exposed person actually is, I was able to get these things removed. And this is mostly when it comes to an employment perspective. So the consultancy does not just provide immigration consulting advice, it also provides advice on very practical things such as gaining employment and certain problems that you might face during the certain recruitment process. Even though I am an EU migrant, which means that I have the right of free movement all around the European Union, I've also experienced my own share of issues when moving to Lithuania, such as issues when it came to job recruitment and finding a place to live. So I can also empathize with clients hands-on, with a whole variety of issues that foreigners who are moving to Lithuania might face at the time. So personally, because of my previous engagement in politics in Slovenia, and due to a PEP marker I held in the past, I had some issues when it came to background checks during the recruitment procedures, for example. But due to my legal knowledge, especially of GDPR and certain regulations that handle PEP markers, I was able to get those removed proactively. I am very direct. I speak my mind. And I would also say that I tackle a problem proactively, strategically, and absolutely in the favor of the client, even if the solution does not seem the most viable at the time.